So, you excited to get back to the Garden?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
For sure. It's a special place. Any basketball player would love to play at that stage and that kind of arena. And last time I was there was my freshman year, so I'm excited to get back there.
With like Atlanta, the trip to Maui, like all these, even LCA a little bit, like it seems like you guys have a lot of these sort of, it's not getaway games, but you got some pretty cool venues that are going on. How do you think that prepares you guys for maybe postseason play when it comes to that?
I think us playing at those special kind of venues, the ones that you mentioned, they kind of, it's like there's goods and bads to it. I mean, obviously the goods is that, you get to play where, pros have played and, special tournaments where people before you played that turn into pros, but also you have to make sure you're focused. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a game no matter where it is, whether it's Hawaii, New York, Atlanta, it's still a game. You still have to focus on what you have to do. And that's the approach that I try to take is, although I'm thankful to be in position to play at some of those places, it's still a game. I still have to lock in. I can't get distracted by all the, distractions and everything. And that's my goal going into this game is, even though it's an amazing place, don't get distracted. You still have a game to win.
Do you feel like that's been not to say like a problem in the past games, but is that something you guys have had to address?
My freshman year was something I had to, kind of adjust to a little bit. I don't think we've had problems, adjusting, but I would say that now we all of us know what our goals are, and all of us do a really good job of not getting distracted and caught up by all the things that are happening outside of the game. And so that's one of the really good things about this team is that everyone is locked in on the same goal.
Jaxon, when you look at yourself, what was that experience like with the Rutgers? That was your freshman year, right?
Oh, sorry, repeat that again?
You played Rutgers there?
Yeah.
Freshman year. What was that experience like? Because, I mean, obviously a conference game, it has a different tenacity to it in itself, but playing that there, what was the difference?
I remember as a freshman, it was all just super rushed. As a freshman, getting to play at the Garden, it was pretty scary, but at the same time, I was excited to play, but there's kind of a different level that you have to prepare yourself mentally for it because it is a big stage, it is a big arena, but we're telling our guys, like, hey, big arena or not, whether it's at the Garden or it's at a playground, it's still a basketball game. Don't get locked in on how many people there are watching. It's still a game.
When you look at you guys being the last undefeated Big Ten team, what would you credit in terms of the consistency that you guys have had through some games?
It's been really important to us. That's something that before every game we're telling our guys, like, hey, let's keep this thing going. Consistency is very important. And we've had games where we have let something slip and kind of not been as good as, but we always try to come back and play as hard as we can, and we try to fight back with our spirit, and that's something that this team does really well. And the more games you win, the more hungry you are to win more games and keep this thing going. So that kind of helps us a little bit, because we want to keep going, we want to keep winning.
When you look at the star power they have in their backcourt, what sort of things are going to be important for you guys as bigs to try to help out your guys?
Honestly, we just have to make sure that we're there to help on the help side and all that stuff. I mean, we're there to do our jobs, and our job doesn't really. Every game, it's not really different. It's almost the same. Like our job is always the same: defend, rebound, get points, play defense. That's always our job.
What are the challenges of playing multiple positions in this season? I mean, obviously you've bounced between a couple spots. There's a bunch of guys that are in the chamber. What are the challenges? One of the challenges is you have to know coverages and all that stuff, but really it's about locking in practice and knowing your job and what your tasks are. You have to know how to guard certain things and prepare for different types of players, whether they're big, strong guys or if they're athletic shooters or like go to the basket. You just have to guard, and you can make it a lot more complicated than that. But at the end of the day, you just have to guard. Do you feel like this team with all the coaches is it a matchup per group? I mean, with the different lineups.
what gets it there if it's not?
I think they have some talented guys on the team, but I believe that we have the guys to, do our job and defend and, get another win.
You've talked about staying focused and while acknowledging how cool it is to play at MSG, but how do you stay focused without kind of losing yourself in perhaps the lights and the fact that it's kind of the mecca of basketball?
Me personally, I just don't listen to it. Like I don't listen to how well we're doing or how many games we won, because to me, you can say that like at any point. Like I don't listen to it because for me, it kind of like it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like that matters to the coaches and to our program, but for players, it's next game. Like you can enjoy it in the locker room after a win, but at the end of the day, you're still going to come back here the next day and get to practice and prepare for another team. And that's kind of the goal, is just to get better every day, whether it's a win or a loss. So with all these games that we won, it's always like, okay, I'm hungry for another win, let's keep this stretch going. So that's how I do it personally.